Early in the day, Graham Glasgow is coming back on a 3-year, $20 million contract with $9.5 million guaranteed. I think it's an awesome move, keeps versatility on that offensive line. A really good fit next to Frank Ragnow on a line with Taylor Decker and Penei Sewell. Great move to bring him back. And I mentioned those 4 offensive linemen because they did lose one of their starting 5. Jonah Jackson signed a massive 3-year, $51 million deal. He got paid. Paid by the Los Angeles Rams. And that was a story that, to me, that was the first storyline of the day. These guard contracts, not even tackles, not even centers, guards had themselves a day. Whether it was Jonas, $51 million, Robert Hunt got over $100 million from the Panthers, who also traded Brian Burns for a 2nd and a 5th. Weird things happening in Carolina. But those guards got paid, which made that $20 million, which was already a team-friendly deal for Graham Glasgow, look that much better as the day went on.
Yeah, and you know what I continued to see from you, and I started to actually agree with it a lot, is that Brad Holmes was cooking. As we saw these contracts going to a lot of different players that we've talked about in this show as potential targets, or what should the Lions do with them. I know we set some of our kind of numbers we'd be comfortable with. These guys are getting paid, and I do believe that is cooking just the same. When you're not going out there overpaying for a player and still being able to identify the guys that you believe can absolutely help this team without having to go out there and drop a bomb. And these guys are getting the bag, man.
Yeah,
Bryce Huff got paid. The bag, man. So I agree with your take on that.
And so 3 years, $20 million for a guy who can not just play guard, but we talk about Frank Ragnow's possible injuries, his toe issues. He can play center. He started games at center, left guard, and right guard last year. So that's a big win. We did talk about it yesterday. So the real news, although we're going to talk about Marcus Davenport next, the trade for Carlton Davis, cornerback out of Tampa Bay. We're waiting all day to hear not just a move, but a move for a cornerback, a piece in the secondary, which the entire NFL, the cornerback market, is waiting for L'Jarius Sneed to make a decision, to figure out what's going on with Sneed. After that happens, that's when the cornerback floodgates are going to open. But among all of this, among the rumors of talking to the Chiefs about L'Jarius Sneed, also trade rumors with Grant Newsome out of Cleveland, out of nowhere. The Lions go and get cornerback Carlton Davis from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Carlton Davis and a 6th-round pick in the 2024 NFL Draft and a 6th-round pick in the 2025 NFL Draft for the Detroit Lions' 3rd-round pick in this year's 2024 NFL Draft. And to clarify, it is their Lions pick, not the T.J. Hawkinson pick, number 73. It is the Lions pick at 92. And that's a big difference. Come draft day, when we know Brad Holmes is wheeling and dealing, you gave up one pick, number 92, for Carlton Davis, but you get 2 picks in the 6th round back. So before we start talking about Carlton Davis, the amount of draft capital that Brad Holmes is accumulating, that's all capital you can use to move up in the draft, make another trade. There are a lot of things you can do with it, but the key to this all is if Carlton Davis, who is 1 year, about $14 million left on his contract, can he come in and be your cornerback 1? That's going to be the question of the day. He's 27 years old. He's 6'1", 206 pounds. So he's the exact type of cornerback that this team needed. They wanted. He thrives in press man coverage, going one-on-one against some of the best receivers in the league. He struggles against some of the smaller, quicker receivers, some of the more twitchy, say, Khalif Raymond type receivers, maybe even Amon-Ra St. Brown types, those real good over-the-middle type route runners. But when he's on some of the best wide receivers, he hangs in there right with them. So what he's able to do, allowing Aaron Glenn to play more man, fitting right into this scheme, moving Cam Sutton to the cornerback 2 at this point, because there's still a chance they go get another cornerback, but you move Cam Sutton over to cornerback 2, and they now have potential for a pretty strong secondary. It's not done. It's not complete, but it's getting there. KG, what are your initial thoughts about this move?
It was a good move. It was an absolutely good move. We get compensation back. We got a cornerback who I feel is our CB1. Really good cover corner. His interception numbers aren't the best, but his passes defended numbers are the real key. He's had double-digit passes defended in damn near every season he's been in the NFL. He's really good in man. He fits our AG man defense very well. I'm excited for the pick, man. As long as he stays healthy, and that's going to be a key too, is his health. As long as he stays healthy, I feel like we'll be fine.
That is the key. Yeah. That is the key. Health. That's the biggest concern. That's a theme of some of the guys Brad Holmes and the Detroit Lions have gone balling out and got to this point. He's only played, where's my, he's injury prone. So he missed 5 games with an assortment of injuries last year. But when he's on the field, he plays really well. A lot. We're getting mixed reviews from Buccaneers Twitter. Some say we overpaid for him. Some say you got to steal. Like when he's healthy, he has top 10 cornerback potential. I like the sound of that. To me, he's got the potential similar to Emmanuel Moseley, like to be a number 1, maybe a 1B cornerback at the top of your cornerback room, but he's healthy right now. Yeah. He is expected to start day 1. Emmanuel Moseley has a couple weeks into the season before he has a chance of getting healthy. I also look at it's a younger, slightly more expensive on a 1-year deal than Stephon Gilmore, but that's the type of role that Carlton Davis is going to fill, that veteran to go up against the wide receiver 1 of the opponent's team. So I like that part of the move. He has that dude potential. He's won a Super Bowl. Let's not forget that. That is a big part of this.
We've seen him doing on the big stage.
Yes, he has done it on the big stage. And to me, so we were talking, last thing I'll bring up here before we talk about this a little more before we take these callers. A lot of the stuff I saw on X, on Twitter, was people upset about not going after L'Jarius Sneed, or do we do this, or Grant Newsome, or this or that. But for me, the way I look at it, you're playing a player on a contract year. You're paying him $14 million, $14.5, which isn't a cheap deal. It's not cheap for a cornerback, but you're paying it to a guy on a contract year trying to earn more money versus
get that contract year bump.
Yes, and I'm actually wearing my contract year shirt today.
Year bump. Let's get it.
Versus a player who will have just gotten paid, will cost you about $20 million per year for at least 4 years. Someone who's just gotten paid versus someone who is trying to get his next contract. I'll take Carlton Davis. I'll take that 1-year rental or the ability to extend him any day of the week.